Hey, what's up, family? Love and light. Hope you're feeling balanced and beautiful today. This is Rara Avis with Truth and Light. And coming in, man, just to, keep building this bridge that we're building back to self, man, and just coming with this firm reminder. And I just want to say that this space right here will always be available, man, in case you're ever short circuiting. Your biggest earnings in life are the connections you make on the journey. And this is a place for connection where we just spill it out, man. That's exactly what we talk about, the journey. And this is the same journey that we're all on in this life. We're just, in these bodies, is going through very similar experiences in different ways. And we all have the same battery packs, just in different variations. And it's, like I keep saying, the blueprint to this, man. And we're all supposed to be ruling by the 5 points. And Adept's spirit of God awakened, and it unlocks the spirit of God within others once that God is awakened within self. We are the temple of God, and I am going to explain it. We're known as the hand of God in occultism, and all this stuff is not to be taken lightly. But in my opinion, I just feel like it's too much preaching without enough teaching nowadays. And so it's left just sometimes empty words of just saying things, but not really applying these things we're saying. And it's so important we know what we're saying. I mean, it's all about the words at the end of the day. If these people aren't explaining to you at the highest level of the mystic and all this, then the religion and the occult and all this, if they're not like explaining the words to you, then they're not talking about it. If they're not explaining the symbols, then they're not talking about it. But that is actually a problem of this right here. The slavery of humanity is the problem. We have people who know this stuff, and like I say, reel I made earlier, people really are just trying to capture your attention, and I promise you, I am not here to do that, and my actions will definitely shed some light on that. I mean, I'm not here to steal your time or anything. I'm just giving this out. It's just like an adhesion contract. Take it or leave it type of thing. But I'm gonna be doing this, man, because I like slaying duality and ending, at least for the people around me and the many people that I could reach. So I'm just doing my part in that and explaining this problem of people who do know this information and they're just not really sharing it. And then the other half of the people, everybody got a phone nowadays, so everybody's just saying stuff. But where's the application to it? I don't really like bringing up problems without solutions. And in this picture, it's saying according to this problem we're having, the solution would be natural law. So what is natural law? We all can be honest and say that we learned a little law in school, maybe, but there's so many aspects to law, which is why most people get lawyers and attorneys and things of that type of nature. But really, ignorance of the law it really is no excuse, because there's laws that specific people follow that don't involve, let's say, you. So therefore, it's really pivotal for you to know what laws it is that you are supposed to be following and observing, so that your rights don't get trampled upon, and you can't protect any rights that you don't know about. Like I was saying with the nationality, and there's a hierarchy of laws. So off of the sentiments of the last one, where we were going in on the derivation of the law, this will kind of explain that, because it came down to the civil and the natural, right? Or the civil and the nation, the nationality rather. So looking at this, we got the universal laws. That's the top, and that deals with the energies. That's the main principle. Whatever energy you put out must come back to you. So that's energies in general, right? Like just in general, just energy. And the next we have, you can even put that to people like the universe. Like that's the supreme creator's just energy, unorchestrated. It's just the energy. Now natural laws deals with the natural way of all objects and beings, which have manifested in the third dimension. So obviously that's Earth, that's here, that's what we call the 3D. And there's definitely multiple dimensions, like the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, and onwards and so forth. So natural law is literally just saying, like, look, all that stuff is energy, But this is important to know because that's nature we're talking about. So when we say nature, we're talking about what's natural here on the planet. So that's like anything that things move a certain way. Like you can't hold water, right? Fire is hot. There's natural things to this that you could say just we don't have to talk about. What they call that res judicata and stare decisis. Like you don't have to even speak on these things. It's just what's natural. So laws of maxim is also known as God's law. These laws come straight out of the Bible and are the highest laws of the land. They are rights given by God to all beings and cannot be taken away by anyone. So with sovereignty, this word is just that's really what all this boggles down to too. That's a high word on the list that if you don't understand it, you should definitely check it out. And don't fall for the the trickery. But as far as sovereignty, if you know about that word, you know why we're getting it from the Bible. Because it involves this system in this game we're playing that people call the matrix and all this stuff, that these contracts, these laws. So if you are born into this world where we're playing this, let's call it a game that we're playing now with the legal games, all that stuff falls under sovereignty, basically. Whoever sovereign is going to be the person who's able to dictate their life and their privacy. And sovereigns have like employees and things of this nature. So if we keep going along with this, it says they have the ability to create laws and constitutions for itself and corporations that it creates. Within our language, within this game, this loophole, I'll cut to the chase and just say that our sovereignty comes from trust. That is what all this stuff comes from. In fact, again, if you know about the word, you know why they're referencing the Bible. If you just look at the history, the Bible is one of the more recent of the ancient texts, but it's one of the last of the express trust that was given to us. And it's express trust. That's actually law. That's why they have the commandments, the gavel and cord, and all this stuff. It's all symbolic. That's why they say that the law and religion blends together. That's why you respect the religion and so on and so forth. But this stuff is all coming from sovereignty, a being that is master of self and can create things for himself. Why? Because we're expected to be noble. I'll just say that, and I'll expand on this stuff some more. But I'm not really trying to make these too long. It's just if I sat here and went in on all these, I mean, we'd be here for a little bit. So I'm gonna keep it going before I do that. We got contract law. So that's under the sovereign. So now we're talking about all this stuff was just not even physical yet. This is just man is mine, and this is just the motion of the ocean. That's the cosmic ocean we were just talking about. So the contract law is now the physical stuff, a set of laws which sovereigns worldwide adhere to in commerce. Offer plus acceptance equals the contract. Now, it says that all sovereigns adhere to this in commerce. Now, a contract is offer and acceptance plus it's four steps to a contract, right? It's offer and acceptance, mutual consideration, at least two competent parties, and the last being the legal purpose of the actual contract itself. Now, when you actually look into it for a while now, the people have been getting, and I say the people have been given nothing but basically adhesion contracts for the last at least 100 years, since 1913. And since we've been getting the short ends of the stick, but we've been voluntarily taking them up, it's been putting us in a boggle. And the boggle puts us at the bottom, which is the bottom re-instrument that they keep giving us. And so, mind you, it's still higher than all this stuff that we're going to get into. We got treaties, which are laws made between two sovereigns that deal with a particular tract of land. Cool. That's the treaties, the peace agreements between the nations, the nationals. So constitution is next. That's within the actual nation. Laws created by a sovereign that govern a corporation created by a sovereign. That's laws created by a sovereign. So that's really important because I want to just talk about, let's say, the American Constitution real quick. Let's take a look at that. We have, in this Constitution at least, it says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, yada yada, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. That thing says, I'm going to read that again. We the people of the United States. Listen to that. We the people. It does not say we the Benjamin Franklins. It does not say we the Anglo-Saxons. It does not say we the Indians. It says we the people. Now, other than the fact that when you look at the original Indian names, because like Cherokee just means people who speak another language, and that was what the Creeks called the Aniawea. But Aniawea means principal people. That's what the Cherokee named themselves. And when you look at, let's say, all the other tribes, it always had people in what they were calling themselves. It was like the rock people, the principal people, whatever. All of it had to do with people. Now, keep in mind that we're all sovereigns in the land of the free and the home of the brave. And that's exactly why I'm explaining this. And on top of that, you're free anywhere you go, because man is not prescribed by any laws except for those laws found in nature. He is not bound to any corporate any of that. He's not bound to any codes, statutes, regulations that was made up by his fellow man. I think that's Sonny versus Mello. That's actually within court. That was in court that was said. Stare decisis, res judicata. A corporation is under the Constitution. So a dead fictitious entity. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the all caps name, of course. We know that, right? A dead fictitious entity operates under the laws of the Constitution developed by the sovereign. So our sovereign will be the Constitution, if anything, right? Because we the people made that, and we're above that even. So does not have the ability to create laws, can only create codes, statutes, and ordinances. Let's keep it going. Federal codes is even under that. Codes which govern corporations within corporations includes UCCs. Police is under that. Police corporations and agents. Private agencies of corporations they belong to, equivalent to a private citizen. Citizen, a slave of the corporation to which it pledges. Does not have rights, only has privileges and immunities which are given to it by the corporation to which it pledges. So when you make yourself, we're supposed to be here in sovereignty, creating trust for our family, because like I said earlier, there's a lot of trust, but there's really only like one you could actually use within the little matrix that they've made up. But the Constitution is an express trust. The Bible is an express trust. Once you get into trust law, you reach a new level, a whole different step into the game. But instead, people have been put at the bottom of it, calling themselves citizens. And really, we're supposed to be functioning constitutionally at best with treaties amongst one another. And you notice the treaties are higher than the Constitution, meaning it don't matter what you got going on civilly within your Constitution. When you walk outside, the treaty's higher than that. you need to be acting with civility when you go outside. But whatever you got going on civilly needs to be getting handled by your Constitution. And I'm laughing because, like, when you walk outside, man, like, we're all family at the end of the day. So we're supposed to be treating each other with civility. But then civilly, meaning within the household, have these constitutions. And only sovereign-minded people can do that because they can create the contracts and the laws to do so. But if you are under all of that because let's say you don't understand law or you don't know what equity is or any of this type of stuff, and you get put at the bottom, this is why everybody's telling you what to do and getting away with it. Because whatever's happened civilly, this is as above, so below. Like how we were talking about with the last video, the derivation of law, right? It had at the top of it, it had the divine, which was the moral principles, and then it had the natural. And the natural's up here too. So when people are letting certain things happen to you as a people, like let's say even how they do the African American community with the reparations, the world knows that only nations can get reparations. It's as simple as that. And we got celebrities on TV side. I think T.I. mentioned it, but that ain't nothing new. The world knows this. It's just about do you know this? Ignorance of the law is no excuse, and the citizen can never legally get reparations unless they want to mess with the natural law of things. And the natural law came straight in equity with the divine law, which is the spiritual. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to explain in my next video how, again, these hands, these feet, we are the hand of God. We're the temple of God, and the Spirit of God is within you. We're going to talk about what that means because we're supposed to be living according to God's law, which is the natural law. But in a matrix that they've created, there's many people doing and living things that are unnatural, and it is all based on the witchcraft, the words, the spells, the spelling, to the point where now we are sharing these spells amongst one another through conversation, trapping. It's like when they say you need new friends when you want to be somewhere else in life. Why? Because they talk about different things. That's why they'll end up taking you to different places. You need a new set of conversations to have. That's all that means. But love and light, man. We gonna pick up on this and set this straight and end duality once and for all. Because there's a simpler way, and then like I keep saying, there's a battery pack. You just have to remember that your greatest earnings in life are the connections that you make on the journey, and it really doesn't have to be this hard. We just have a lot of things that are propagated and a lot of people with opportunity to do things, and they're taking them, man. And some of them are not in the best interest of the people, and we suffer for it. But united, we can always stand up and do a lot more than we can divided. And that's what this is all about, man, making those connections. So, love and light. I'll catch you next time.